how could God allow this to happen to my father, to my
Exactly.
aunt? How could God let these children die in a house fire? How could God let these kids be abused? How could God? And my take on it was, and look, I'm on a journey, and I know enough to know that I know nothing. And I said in the article on the Blaze website, because he asked me, how has your life changed since your conversion? I said, my heart has grown bigger, and I've gotten much smaller. And hopefully as time goes on, I'll continue to get smaller. I'll get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller in proportion to the growth of my heart. So I always say, if God blesses us with free will, well, then free will is free will. There's going to be some madmen running around, drunk driving and carjacking and stuff. Yeah. But then you get into like, I don't know how I can say this concisely, because it's such an enormous topic. Like, how do you balance accepting that God has given everyone free will? Some are going to use that free will to do such heinous things. Yeah. Then how can he love all of us equal if we're abusing the power that he gave us? Or is it an abuse of power at all?
Yeah, I think it may be an inability to grow in freedom, because the best way I can explain it is that if I say to the average person, are you free to do 100 push-ups without stopping? Most people are not.
I'm free to try.
You're free to try.
Right.
You're free to try, but you're not, because you have not
built up
by increments built up to it. Yeah. You're not free to do it right now. You can try, but freedom is developing the ability to choose what is really good and ultimately the very best.
So if somebody is a murderer in a drug cartel, and then on death row he converts to Christianity and has a conversion, and he's quote saved by Christ, I think a lot of listeners have a really hard time with that this guy is bathed in the light of the Lord. Yeah. And how do you, I mean, not you, the editorial sure. You, yeah. Man. How do you square that with the victims of families that have been abused and with people that have been murdered, to know if they were like, hey, he converted to Christ, he's getting saved, he's all set. And meanwhile, their children were tortured and killed in a basement someplace in Ojai. How do you square that?
Yeah, it's
you personally, you must wrestle with thoughts like that more than I ever could.
And the impulse is, this guy deserves it. He should get it. And yet,
an eye for an
eye. But we don't believe in an eye for an eye. We believe, as much as we can. And when you say you're a seeker, I think that is one of the best images that you can use for a Christian, because, excuse me, we are trying to become free enough to love the way God does, and my whole spirituality, everything I'm doing is wrapped up in that. I'm trying to become free enough to love in such a way that I would not only say but also feel that this person on death row, as heinous as the crimes are that he committed, still should experience from me and from others that God's love is there and waiting to embrace him.
Have you personally ever prayed with somebody that you personally thought was despicable?
Yes.
Or what they had done was despicable?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't name names, but can you give examples?
No, but I can tell you, this is years ago in a hospital. This man had led a terrible life, and he was at stage 4 cancer, and he knew he had just weeks to live, and this was not in confession. He poured it all out to me, and he said, I'd like to go to confession, and I said, that'd be great, and he said, but can you save me? And I said, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm not a lifeguard.
Right. I said, but Jesus can, and he will.
But what was it about this guy that was so? I mean, when you just say,
it was all the things that he had done that were really reprehensible. And
I mean, this guy really sticks out in your mind. Out of the whole,
he does.
Out of the whole kaleidoscope of humanity.
But also, I can use an example because
Please.
she's written a book about it, and she's very public about it. Heather King, she wrote a book called Redeemed, and have you heard of her? Heather is bright. She's brilliant. She was at Harvard, and she was
They let ladies into Harvard?
Yeah,
come on,
they do.
What year is this?
She was also working in a bar, and she was sleeping around. This is all public information that's in the book. She was addicted to drugs. She was an alcoholic. She had hit bottom several times, and she says in her book, she would not be alive today if it were not for the love of God.
Well, she's not despicable. She was just living the life of Riley. I mean, you've sat with people that were bad people, right?
Yes.
Wow. And your love of conveying the message of Christ has to override your personal, a guy that's from the woods of Maine, like, wow, this guy doesn't deserve to be taken. I just smothered this guy with a pillow before cancer gets him.
Sometimes you wonder.
That's me. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and actually after...
And then I would take the pillow off and just let him gasp, and then I'd put it back. I wouldn't do it quick.
Make him suffer.
Yeah, like a John Lee Hooker song. Hold him in the water till the bubbles stop coming up.
Well...
Have you ever, does the cat, and I'm not sure where this is because there's been so many movies about it, does the Catholic Church recognize exorcisms?
Yes.
Have you ever been involved in one?
No.
Do you know anybody firsthand that has been involved?
I do.
Like a firsthand.
I know a priest that works full time just doing exorcism. He would be a great interview for you.
No kidding.
He would. Can
you deliver him?
But he's in Oklahoma. I think I can. He comes here every once in a while. You know the actor Eduardo Verástegui?
No.
He was in Bella. He's.
That's the craziest name anybody's ever made up on this show.
Eduardo Verástegui.
What?
I didn't make that up. He's
Where'd you find that? He's good looking from.
He's
crazy Italian husband. Whoa! Excuse me. What do you?
Chasing Poppy. Yeah,
he had
he's sorry he made that movie now. He went through a big conversion, so
he had to be exorcised.
No, well,
because
maybe,
that movie was so horrible.
Maybe so.
That movie was so horrible. He had an exorcism to get it off his IMDb page.
He's a great figure. He lives here in Los Angeles now, but he's originally from Mexico, and he had this. He said he called me up and he said, "I want to go to that Sarah retreat house," and this is
that's right here in Malibu.
He said. We want to have a retreat there with this. I have this exorcist that's in town, and I said, you know what? We use that for Catholic athletes for Christ. And
I always thought that was a rehab. I never knew that was a Catholic
Sarah retreat house. Yeah, it's
right across from Malibu Creek.
I guess so. It's on the top of the hill.
Yeah.
No, it's a retreat house. You can go up there and visit it. It's. He said. Anyway, I said,
if I leave and come back, do I have to start over?
It would take a year. You would take a year to have a reservation to use that place for a retreat. So I run family theater. So he said, "Well, can we go to family theater then over a weekend?" It was President's Weekend, just this year, and so this priest came in. And
the guy that does the exorcisms.
He did, and we had about 30 or 40, mainly young people in Hollywood.
Real quick, it's got to be creepy to meet a guy that does exorcisms full time. Is he like a creepy guy?
No, I wouldn't say he's creepy. No, he's his job. He's very intense. He's intense.
Yeah,
I would say that. And this is his full time job. He trained. There's a school of exorcism in Rome that was just revived about 15 years ago. He got training there, and now he's been doing this for 7 years. He has appointments and. A couple of things that are interesting. He said, possession is very rare, but it is real.
Demonic possession.
Demonic possession. And he said, one thing you have to know as an exorcist or just as a regular person is that demons have a different way of. They are smarter than any of us are.
They're like addicts.
They have infused knowledge. It's just poured into them when they're created. They were.
So you believe in demons?
And angels too.
You do.
Yeah.
You believe that there's demons running around. Are they in human form, or like what are they? And we'll come back to this intense. I'll call him creepy exorcist guy. I
didn't say that.
No, but I mean, you did not say that. I said that. But a lot of people that are not Christian think like, well, this guy's batshit crazy if he thinks there's demons running around.
Yeah.
Like, but you absolutely believe that there are demons walking around among us.
I don't know if they're walking around among us, hidden,
But
in,
but, like in the ether somewhere, energies and bad.
Yes, he said there's possession, which is really rare. Then there is oppression, and then there is another ession, whatever it is, and he
concession.
Said, it can
condescension. I ran out after one. Boy, I stink.
He said that. In his experience, there are all the, and he said he's a trained psychologist as well. The first thing you look at is whether the person is mentally ill or not, and that's the case for many people that come thinking they're possessed or they're obsessed or
they're like borderline personality disorder,
obsession, and
they think the government's out to get them, and it turns out they're a little screwy.
So, but he said.
And I say that as I champion mental health. I don't want Thalians over at Cedars. I don't want that to come across as I was being insensitive to the mentally ill.
No, and I'm one of them. Too. That well,
I'm medicated for my mental illness.
But here's the amazing thing that he said.
As opposed to, hey, I'm in town for an exorcism.
No,
he said that like he was at a freaking a ball game.
He did it.
Like, hey, I'm coming into town. I just want to see what Dodger Stadium looks like. Look, I'm in town for an exorcism. Do you guys want to get dinner?
I would love him to talk to you.
Yeah, we'll hook it up. But that's the creepiest thing in the world to be in town for. I'm going to lay my hands on someone who's in touch with the devil. All right, so he said, sorry.
Okay, so he said. As rare as it is, it does happen, and some people do get possessed, and there's all these other things.
And you vouch for this guy.
I can't vouch 100% for him.
All right, but if it's just me and you,
legitimate to me.
It's just you and I. We're buddies from the neighborhood. We're driving to Vegas. You look me in the eye and you go, JJ, I know this guy. I'm telling you.
I would say yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And here's what he said. As important as that is, going to confession. That the power of that is 100 times more powerful than the experience of exorcism. Yeah.
Why?
It's an amazing. Well, and that's one thing I would vouch for. Like the most when I go into confession to listen to people coming in, I always try to say, "Come, Holy Spirit, Veni Sancte Spiritus." Because I know that I need help to listen with the heart of our Lord to people coming in. He's the one who hears their confession. He's the one that heals them. He's the one that is the doctor of souls and that reaches in and can take a broken heart.
Well, why do you say that? Because Willy Raymond goes, "Geez, this person's a
exactly."
Okay.
I can do that. I can say, "What a what a."
Yeah.
So. But it's the most amazing experience, and it's the most, I would say, the most enriching part of being a priest is what goes on in confession. So,
last time I went to confession, it was with Monsignor Torgerson, and I was with my son Jackie. It's been a year since I've been to. You know what I just realized? It's been a year since I've been to confession, and. We were just in the rectory saying hi to Father Tim, and Monsignor comes out and goes, "Hey guys, confession, let's go!" Like literally, like a ball coach, like, "Come on, boys, special team meeting, special team film room, let's go, come on now!"
All right.
And Monsignor just goes, "It's confession, let's go. You ready? Are you on fire?" That's his big thing. "Are you on fire, Andrew? Are you on fire?" And so I go, "Oh, okay." And, this is the guy that told me we're a called people. So this guy just literally called upon me to go to, so I'd be, it's all right, we're good. But then also I have the ability, now I'm in a position where I get to tell my son, like, this is great. Anything that you think you've done wrong, you get to tell this person and you're forgiven. my son has a meltdown and is trembling.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, what has he done? Like, what is this little, is he a spy? Like, and then I go, I don't understand why he had like a tight face and quivering lip. And the church.
How old is he?
He was 8 at the time. But the church has always been a place of such joy for us, he and I specifically.